6 o'clock, we'll call the Monday, March 9th, 2026 meeting to order of Pendleton Town Council. We'll pause for a moment of silent reflection. Do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Willie, will you lead us in a roll call, please?
Would be glad to. Steve Denny. Here. Jane Davis. Here. Jerry Burmeister. Here. Brian Williams. Here. Marissa Skaggs.
Here. 5 out of 5 members, we have established a quorum. Moving on, we have the minutes from the February meeting in the Google Drive. Any corrections or additions to that? If there aren't any, I will entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of the February 2026 meeting minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Minutes are approved. Okay, moving on to the clerk treasurer's report. We have the claims for January and February of 2026. Willie, is there anything you would like to highlight in that?
No, I think most of it, familiar with. Nothing real strange.
Real strange, that's good. Just a little bit strange, not real strange. Any questions for Willie regarding the clerk treasurer's report? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the clerk treasurer's report for the month of January.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of the clerk treasurer's report. All in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carried unanimously. Okay, moving on to department reports. We have the police department report in our Google Drive. Mark Farr is not here, so we'll move on to the park. Carrie Bell, you're up.
Happy March.
Yes.
So we're happy at the park that it's March. We had our seasonal employees return this week, so we're excited to have them back. Get things started on the park side and golf side of things, getting the trails cleaned up, debris moved off, get ready for mowing. We have an exciting program coming up towards the end of this month for youth. It's called the Teen Indiana Master Naturalist Program. That's going to take place at Falls Park. It's a partnership with us and Soil and Water. And this is a 10-week program. We're offering scholarships. It starts Thursday, March 26th, and we're really excited to see our youth engaged with a lot of really cool professionals within the area. We have a Ball State University professor coming in with live bats. We've got a naturalist with reptiles. We've got a conservation officer and just a whole group of really great professionals coming. So hopefully we'll see more kids signing up in the next couple of weeks. If you know anybody in that age range, love to see them join us. And we have scholarships available. Over at the golf course, we're open. So it's busy over there. It's great to see the greens getting used, people out there enjoying themselves in the sun. And so glad to see that. Our simulator tournament that's been happening through the winter is finishing up this week, and we'll see who those first and second prizes go to. Other than that, if you've been over there this week, you'll notice that the pro shop is getting a new deck out in the front. And we're extending that deck a little bit, and so that's going to make for some more outdoor seating, which is very nice. Other than that, I mentioned our impact fee study. We had our first meeting with B3 a couple weeks ago, and we'll just keep you informed as that goes along. I have one other thing I wanted to mention tonight, and that is in regards to a couple initiatives. I mentioned probably a couple meetings ago. That was the leading or program hikes, leading or training volunteers to give hikes within the park. And we have our first training on that this month, Thursday, March 19th from 4 to 7. And we have 6 people signed up who are willing to get trained on how to lead programs, how to give hikes within the park. So we're excited to see that offered, and hopefully we can get that going by the end of this year, if not sooner. And then we have one more training in April, Wednesday, April 29th from 4 to 7, and that's for invasive management. And we have 7 people signed up to help us and want to get out there and try and help us manage that part. That's all I wanted to share tonight.
Awesome. Any questions for Sherry? Thanks.
Thanks.
I hope this nice weather continues for you guys.
Yes, yeah, for a little bit before the snow comes.
Oh, don't say that.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Sherry. Okay, moving on to the planning department.
Okay, for the planning department, that we have our March planning department report, Hannah Rose Urbanski prepared for us. We have here our total. You'll see that things are starting to pick up a little bit in our numbers here. We're a little bit ahead of time from last year, so that's good news, and that's partly mainly because of the development you see out to the west at Baker's Point. So they're trucking along really well out there. I think right now they've got about 13 homes out there, and we actually just completed our final on our third home certificate of occupancy out there. So very excited to be able to see those homes filled in the near future. As far as kind of our meetings here, our planning commission, we had the rezone for the Prairie Falls. It was approved then at town council then that week after. In the February Board of Zoning Appeals, there was a couple of continuances. We needed some additional information for one, a variance from developmental standards, as well as a side setback for Prairie Falls. It's a request that we assume that once that gets ruled upon, then they're going to be able to be ready to file their primary plat and get development starting there. And that's the development there, about 42 homes or 42 acres, 21 homes there north of town off of North Pendleton Avenue. As far as the other meetings, there was no meetings there, and our urban forestry got to enjoy the program that Falls Park did for the volunteers. We kind of helped out with that program that night. As far as development, we're pretty much about the same pace as kind of where we were last month as far as status on the development here. But as far as movement, as far as Arbor Homes, also to the south, they're starting to pick up a little bit, and we had a great meeting with their project manager. Brett Mabry led that meeting, and that went very well. That superintendent is working hard to work within his processes and keeping a good communication flow between the town and the development there. On the horizon, though, I did kind of want to share a few little things. We do have our Arts and Culture First Steering Committee meeting this coming Thursday with Designing Local. Last week, when I was attending a state house program with Indiana Main Street, I happened to just sit next to Terry Sweeney. He is a representative from the Main Street from Warsaw, and they actually just completed their arts and culture plan with Designing Local. And he happened to have a hard copy with him, pulled it out, and it was a really well put together document. So I think it's going to be a very exciting program development for our community. Also, we met with Rachel Christensen and Chris Ham from HWC Engineering today. That was President Skaggs and myself. We're very excited about the conversations that took place. We are looking at streamlining some things for our planning department, kind of tightening up our processes and making some more efficient flow when development comes in, when we meet with developers. Also, project ranking and comprehensive planning strategies. We're looking into that as well, just for some really good long-term program assessments and build out. We also have a collaboration of grant opportunities. So we're going to be kind of working with them. There's things like Stellar, Preserving Main Street, kind of working with them to make sure that we are doing the homework that we need to do to prepare ourselves for when those do open up. The other is just kind of building and strengthening our downtown. That's one thing that we're very excited about. We went through the downtown revitalization update from last year. We ended up here in 25 and just really looking forward to taking those action steps to the next level. Actually, Connor Grant over here to my right, he had put together 2 really good spreadsheets that are going to be very helpful tools in being able to keep on a roadmap, assessing from those ongoing action plans to short-term, mid-term, and long-term. And so we want to start knocking those out here this year in the next coming months. And the other that I have is that if you are of interest to learning about House Bill 1001, this bill did just get signed by the governor on the 4th of March. And so I will be presenting to Planning Commission how that's going to impact our planning department and our processes. So that is our processes, our reporting, our reviews, and even our fees. So I will be sharing that and kind of going over that in detail, because that's going to impact the decisions that they make then too when petitions come in front of them. Then tree management plan and ordinance update. I just met with Dayton Resource Group this last Friday. This is a plan that has not been updated in 10 years, which it is typical for that type of plan to be updated every 10 years. So our Urban Forestry Committee is going to be working on that this year and have that completed by the end of 26. The other is our Keystone Plan. Just wanted to let you know that it was submitted for an award, for a planning award. So it's through Indiana American Society of Landscape Architects. So that has been submitted, so we'll keep you posted. Hopefully we'll get some good news that our Keystone Plan got some acknowledgement. And then last two, just want to give you a heads up, is that for our monthly reporting for our planning department, we're going to start developing kind of a dashboard. So that will kind of keep track of all of our projects. So then that way you can see kind of how they progress from each month, and it'll look a little bit different than what we have in front of us here. Okay. Main Street, Pendleton. Connor, if you want to go ahead and go on down to the next one. Main Street, their board, their officers, and Lexi Duff, our community development coordinator, has been really working hard the last couple of months, getting a good solid start and foundation for this year for that board. Amy Turner's the president, working still with Steve Shug, the former president, as well as those officers. And we're going to be presenting the 2026 budget for approval next week, as well as our sponsorship support packet. It's a whole new look. It's very well detailed out as far as, but yet streamlined at the same time. So I think that you will all enjoy that. We'll make sure that we send that out once that is approved. And they are going to be kickstarting our Downtown in Bloom, our flower program. So expect, we'll probably get some phone calls here. So we're looking forward to getting that out, because the Monday after Mother's Day, we'll be bringing those flowers that Lisa Floyd does such a great job in bringing to our community. Executive Director Training, I went to the first one last week. Lexi is going to continue with me, and we're going to go through a pretty extensive year program for Main Street through the Indiana Main Street program. So we're really looking forward to that and growing and developing, because it's very key, because for our opportunities for grants, we want to make sure that we keep on achieving and working towards accreditation through Main Street America. So that is our goal, and we're going to make sure that we get them there. Here, our goal is here in the next year to 2 years to achieve that. So, and then we just had our first meeting with our events committee. It's actually, we're going to call it promotions committee, because that's what Indiana Main Street has recommended that we do. And so that we just met, we have formed a policy and procedures for the events committee, as well as the events coordinator, and also have established the contract for the events coordinator. So all that's going to get in front of the entire board next week, and we'll get those approved and ready to get started with those events this year. Next slide, our Tree City USA program. We are waiting the official press release. We'll get that out here as soon as we receive that, but we just got notification the very 1st of March that we are now 16 years and continuing a Tree City USA community. So that is huge through Arbor Day Foundation, but just wanted to let you know that we once again earned that honorary award. And then last project that I have to give as an update is Creative Convergence Project. That is a partnership through Pendleton Art Society. Lexi Duff put out a lot of documentation as far as the artist call out, the specifications and rules on that application. And that went out here the 25th of February. She has received numerous inquiries about this. So we are hoping to have all 8 of these trail markers adopted. We will be making the decision the 25th of March of this month, and then they'll have about a 5-week window to be able to create their design. We're going to be meeting with Sherry and the park Thursday to determine where would be appropriate places, either through the Falls Park area or the downtown area, to kind of highlight those areas, landmarks within our community. And then we'll create a story map that someone can kind of follow and just kind of continue on, and we'll kind of keep those traveling, throughout the year. That way we can highlight our local artists, as well as just bringing in some arts and culture and kind of kickstart our arts and culture plan. And we are looking at having the reveal ceremony. Sorry, I'm trying to hurry and I'm talking way too fast here. At our farmers market coming up on the 9th of May. So that's all I have. If anyone has any questions.
What day did you say you were presenting on House Bill 1001?
That is the 4th of April, I believe.
Okay.
It's the first,
Okay, Thursday.
yeah, first Wednesday.
Wednesday, sorry.
Yes, and that'll be at Planning Commission.
Okay,
yes.
awesome.
Yep.
Thanks. Any questions for Denise?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Town manager?
So we're about ready to put out trash and recycling bids. We're gonna allow bidders to propose a yard waste service, which will sort of be like recycling. You'll pay for it through a subscription. We may probably just do that. Will be available year round, although some of the other possible bidders have suggested that you can also go to a season. I think a lot of people would look to that. Be happy to see that yard waste option coming up. And then if you have any other suggestions on how we can improve the trash and recycling service, I'd love to hear it. Probably send that out maybe at the end of this week, and the bids will be due middle of next month. Have any of you received complaints about Frontier and their subcontractors, the fiber? Yeah. So that continues to be a problem. We jumped on it right away. And I think I've talked about it in the last meeting. We were so on Frontier about the sloppy work that they've actually assigned 2 points of contact for me. So if I can't get a hold of one, I get a hold of the other. So if you know of any other issues, that neighborhoods where they're at, and it's not looking good, let me know. Hopefully we can get Frontier on it and their subcontractors before the neighbors feel like they have to call us. If you could go to the next photo. We got the new payloader delivered. It's really neat. That sort of turned out fuzzy. It was great when I had it on the little computer, but you can go to the next slide. Part of the package is that we do training. We've completed the initial training. We may send some guys out for additional with this, just how to maintain it, how it works. And they're really excited. We had one way in the past, but it was too big. It was a military salvage unit that the military got rid of to cities and towns, and it was just too big. So we hope this is going to be the right size, and we're excited about it. And then the last thing I had, if we didn't announce that TJ had finished his apprenticeship, it is now a journeyman. So only Adam, who's there with his hands in the pocket, right to the left of Michael and Preston, he's the only one left that's still in the apprenticeship. So with that, I'm open to any questions about the highlights. If you can go to the next slides. Elm Street, not a lot has happened since we last talked. But we were out there for about an hour today and starting to put in the last drains. And then they'll pave over that. A couple more aprons to put in. Next slide.
Hey Scott, on that,
Yeah.
I drove by last weekend and one of the workers had his truck down towards the bottom by the Thomas Middleton house.
Mhm.
You said it's gonna be 2 lanes.
It's gonna be 2 lanes, very narrow. It looks like it's too narrow, but it's the same width as what it was before. It just visually, once the pavement comes up, it won't look so constrained.
Is it gonna be like a curb where you're gonna have to fit between there? Because honestly, what it looked like when that truck was down there,
Yeah,
he had a little Toyota Tacoma,
Yeah.
small truck, and it was
Yeah.
mirror to mirror
yeah.
from the concrete that's already poured.
We went with the same width, and we don't want it to become a thoroughfare. So it is purposely meant to calm traffic. And so,
I personally just seen what it is. I don't see 2 cars get through there. My little car,
yeah.
It's very narrow.
It's super.
yeah.
It's
way
it's
too narrow
definitely
to
narrow,
get 2
yeah.
vehicles through it.
Right.
I mean, even going slow,
Well, we can always come after Banning. I mean, they told us it was too late. They messed up the design, right?
it looks,
I know, I look at it too, and I go. So,
it's gonna be interesting.
yeah, we'll see.
Is the plan still to brick that street?
Got the brick spot. So. Okay. You don't want it to be a thoroughfare, that could be a nightmare, right?
No, I understand. It's just, we're gonna say it's 2 lanes. Cars are gonna come down, beers are gonna get down like they're already doing almost on Main Street now anyway.
Yeah.
Cars are parking beside the road.
It would work if we decided to make it 1 lane. Or be one
One
lane,
Yeah,
and there was a lot of back and forth on this, because that's gonna be part of it. Not part of the business park trail, but an offshoot of the business park trail.
it's just something we're gonna have to really pay attention to whenever we go to open that road.
Yep.
Because we'll get calls as soon as somebody hits barriers. It's not that.
Well, yeah. Okay. Already drained, not a lot has happened because of the rain. They've started to do some of the grading, but until we get it really dry, they're not gonna be able to do the final grading and the landscaping. We have started to pay off on these projects and some of the invoices. So we're close, just not, right, just so close. Next slide. We've received more bids for more parts for the substation, so that's progressing. You'll start to see some things happen out there pretty quickly. One of the winning bids for the substation, yeah, labor is a local contractor, so we're happy for that. Next. We're gonna talk about parcel 4 today. We're not gonna do parcel 6. There was a hoop that needed to be jumped through and it didn't get jumped through, so we'll just be doing parcel 4. Go ahead and go down. And then parcel 4 is, it is the last property on the right as you leave town past Indiana Avenue. So I believe it's this property right here. 770 South Pelton Avenue. It says it doesn't have a label. So that's what you'll be talking about next in your agenda. Okay. You know, that shouldn't have been. Okay, gotcha. Yep.
Okay, so back to trash, because
Yeah.
I love trash day. Okay, so
I could tell,
we're expecting about 3 to 4 bids, right?
right? We've had 3 vendors that have been calling me through the year.
Okay,
Through the
because
year,
last time we
lined it
did
up.
this, we had 1, and it
We
was
had one.
a bummer of a bid.
We
price.
thought we were gonna have 3.
Right.
In the end, it was just Best Way.
Okay, so we should expect to see that in May-ish, like before us. Okay, that's fine. Just wanted to make sure. I don't want to have a lapse in trash.
No, it's
I know, it's
very
through the end of the
important.
year.
Yeah, that we have multiple bidders.
Yes, it is. So, okay, awesome. Anything else for Scott? Okay, thanks. Okay. Moving on to old business. Last month, we talked about the super voluntary annexation for the Gibson property. And so we had first read on that and we did the public hearing last month. So now we are up for second read on the ordinance to accept this into the town. And Denise, anything you'd like to talk about with this?
Yeah, I think we covered quite a bit, last month. This is the super voluntary annexation proposal. There was a fiscal plan, the resolution was passed last month. Before you tonight is the ordinance for the annexation. It did meet all the criteria for this petition. The contiguity test was met, and we are requesting, and the petitioner is requesting for this about 3-acre parcel south of town to be rural residential as it comes into town, this annex. The ordinance in front of you, it confirms that these requests does meet the Indiana State Code. It establishes that the facts that were presented are accurate, that council district assigned for this particular parcel is District 2, and it signs that rural residential forms the zoning classification. And then the way that we will kind of proceed here tonight, if it is approved tonight, we will then submit publication into the local newspaper. Once it is there from the date of publication, it has to sit for 30 days. And then so long as we do not have any opposition to that, then we will take the documentation, the ordinance, and then record that with the Madison County Recorder's Office. And then they will be in, the Gibsons will, this particular parcel, which would be then their fourth parcel, there. I think it might be at the very tail end there, but, the fiscal plan, did determine that there is not an impact, in the annexation here once it comes into town.
Any questions for Denise regarding the Gibson annexation or ordinance 2026-03?
We studied this pretty
Yeah.
last month.
Yeah.
Yeah. And things haven't changed, everything's.
Nothing's changed. We've not received any concern, opposition, any comment from the public. Petitioners just could not be here tonight with the change of the date, but they are still wanting to pursue this, so. yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion for approval on second read of ordinance 2026-03, super voluntary annexation of State Road 67, the Gibson property.
So move.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of ordinance 2026-03, super voluntary annexation of 0 State Road 67, the Gibson property. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Ordinance is approved. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, moving on to new business. The last couple of months, we've had several of these right-of-way acquisitions. And tonight we have one that needs to be approved. Parcel 4 that Scott talked about earlier, 770 South Main Street, or South Pendleton Avenue, sorry.
Yeah, I did a poor job of describing where it is. Do you know where Indiana Avenue tees into Pendleton Avenue? There's that open field, Bob Campbell, owned that for years, and the little house that he lived in, just to the north of that. That's the property we're talking about. So it's the last house as you go up out of town to the south. The next property is Joe's property. So, I hope that's a better description.
There's a picture of that house. Any questions for Scott regarding this? And then just as a point of reference, item B, we're waiting on the second appraisal because
We have a second
acreage,
appraisal.
okay.
We, thanks to our detailed attorneys, we needed to get a resolution before poorly written.
turn your microphone.
Poorly written, not well thought out law. We have to get a resolution before you can have authorization to buy a parcel more than 25,000. Doesn't make sense because that, what's it cost until they do appraisal.
Right.
So anyway, we gotta circle back. Tyler wants to talk about it more.
I think Scott covered it well. We'll have a resolution for you guys next month's meeting.
Awesome. Any questions from council regarding parcel 4 and the acquisition of that? Okay, then I'll make a motion to approve the acquisition of parcel 4 of the Danley property, 770 South Pendleton Avenue.
Second.
You mean a motion?
Yeah. You said.
Do I have a second? Oh, I need a motion in a second. So I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of for acquisition of parcel 4 Danley. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Great. Moving on to public comment. Any public comment? Anyone on Zoom? No?
Matt, you have any comments?
Mr. Gardner, anything? No? Okay. Anything from anybody up here? Okay, awesome. Then at 6:29, I'll make a motion to adjourn.